What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be going over how I had a profitable month of January, which is the first month of 2024. Now, typically, January in the past has been one of my strongest months. My trade win rate typically ranges between like 70 and 85%, but this month we did 90%, which is amazing. Okay, so as you can see, it's from January 1st to January 31st. We had an amazing month, and I want to break down basically how, right? So we're going to go over these weekly overviews that I make for my trading community. And it goes over every trade that was called in the trading community. So every trade that I take, I call within my trading community. All right, so the first month or the first day of January, we took these NAS 100 sells. You can see since price has hit an all-time high, it was failing to swing higher. All right. I had sell stop liquidity below, which you can't see. And then the market had a lot of bearish momentum. I got my sells off a rejection off the 15-minute order block. We caught 120 points for the very first trading day of 2024. All right. All right. So on January 3rd, as you can see, I closed early because I did not like how the 15-minute candle closed and the new one opened. I should have waited for the original entry area, which was the 1 hour order block. All right. So then look at that. I actually readjusted it, got out early to get a better entry, and it tapped into my 1 hour order block. We had price failing to swing. There was imbalance below, and then that rejection off the 1 hour order block for TP 1 through 3 for 73 points. All right. And then we had the fourth, right? So TP 122 were hit. So this was a smaller day. And I stuck with the overall trend, but price was struggling to break this 4 hour order block, which I say to be cautious of here. So this was a smaller day. And typically after TP2 is hit, I move my stop loss to break even. So I take partials and then I move my stop loss to break even, typically after TP2 is hit, especially on days like this where I have an area I need to be cautious of. All right. So that was the first week of 2024. We go into that second week. We had a great trade here. So I got an entry 15 minutes after opening bell. I was first looking for price to hit the 30-minute order block, which is here, but price took off at opening bell and never came down there. So I got a scale in entry pretty much off of this BSL line here, right? And you could see price was failing to swing lower, right? We had the liquidity above and we had imbalance to fill. And as you can see, we had TP 1 through 6 hit for 115 points. All right. Then we had Nikkei. So I do call Nikkei, which is a Japanese stock indice. I typically trade it in the evening times and I do live sessions for these as well. We stuck with the overall trend here, which was buys. Price had reached an all-time high and struggled to break that area. All right, so we got an entry here around that BSL area. Overall uptrend and price was failing to swing lower. We got 144 points on this trade. So that's the eighth. So let's just go back here real quick and you can kind of see like where these wins that I'm describing. All right. All right, so the ninth was a pretty small day. TP 1 to 2 only were hit. TP3 was about to be hit, but price was struggling to break this 30-minute order block. Once I saw it was struggling, I moved my stop loss to break even and I took partials. So the ninth was a pretty small day, but Nikkei made it a much bigger day, right? TP 1 through 4 were hit for 166 points. Again, price was failing to swing lower, overall uptrend, and then a rejection off of that 4 hour order block. Okay. So notice in all these trades, I have the same few confluences that are triggering me to enter the trade. These confluences are the bread and butter of why I'm even profitable. Okay. All right. So again, we have price failing to swing lower. There's imbalance to fill above, and price is in an overall uptrend. So I got my entry around this 15-minute breaker, and TP 1 to 6 were hit, right? For over 100 points, but I did get out at 50 points. Okay. So for this one, I just took my profits at 50 points. So I didn't like the price action, but price did end up hitting the overall target. But as you can see, I only noted TP 1 through 3 because that's personally where I got out. So for 55 points. All right, then the key, another big one. I had a buy. I stuck with the overall trend. Price was failing to swing lower, rejection off the 15 order block, and I caught 120 points. All right, so the first bias I had was for buys for this NOS sell, but when price didn't come down to the 15 OB at opening, I waited patiently to see what price was going to do. Once it pushed up, I saw the daily OB had been rejected, and I switched my bias to sells, and look at that. Beautiful sells, TP 1 through 6 for 173 points. All right, so that was quite a big day, right? And then this last one, we had that stop loss hit for negative 50 points, but I only lost $415, right? All right, so you guys can just see these are all the trades that I called in my trading community, and these are all the trades that are the reason why I had a profitable week or a profitable month for the first month of 2024. So in the key, once again, I traded between 6 and 7 p.m. CST. I stuck with the overall trend. Price was failing to swing lower here. Rejection off that 1 hour order block, and price pushed up to TP 1 through 6 for 238 points. All right. This next one here, I had a sell, got a rejection off the 1 hour breaker. So I got an entry there for TP 1 to 3, which was my 50 points. Once 50 points hits, I secure most of my profits and move my stop loss to break even. Just so you guys know how I operate that. For those in my trading community, you already know, but those that are not, that is how I operate in regards to that, to make sure I just am grateful and take what the market gives me. All right, so we have this Nikki buy in this trade. Once again, I stuck with the overall trend and targeted the all-time high, which I'm glad I did because price ended up dropping after, but I got TP 1 through 3 for 303 points. All right. And then here we had a beautiful NOS sell. Price was failing to swing higher, right? We had sell stop liquidity, 2 sets of it below right here. Sell stop liquidity is an area where sellers are being stopped multiple times. I look for price to take the liquidity below it. And then we had imbalance to fill. I got a rejection off this breaker block right here. And then price dropped to hit TP 1 through 6 for 123 points. And then for this one, I actually had a stop loss hit for negative 100 points, but I still came out on top for the day because I had that NOS 100 sell, so it's all good. And then I had a NOS 100 buy for 40 points here, right? And then I had this Nikki for negative 100 points, but again, I lost less than what I made for the buy, just because I risked less on this trade because I knew it was a risky trade. All right, and then here, once price tapped into TP2 for 45 points, I moved my stop loss to break even and I took partials. But I did notice this was the second day in a row. Price came back to entry and then officially took off. All right. So still have some lessons in some of these, despite being an overall profitable week. And then we had back again on Sunday, stuck with the overall trend. TP 1 through 3 hit for 183 points. Price was failing to swing, and we had a rejection off the 1 hour order block with price at an overall uptrend. All right. This 100-point sell was an unofficial signal called for this trade because I didn't have a session this day because I did feel sick. But this was a trade I did take in the comfort of my bed, but it did not get jotted down in the community because once again, I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't call anything this day. All right. So the next day I cut my losses short for 20 points. Price is in an overall uptrend, so I first went with buys, but I cut them short shortly after as I saw that the market had a lot of bearish momentum. All right, then look at that. I caught 40 points. Price wasn't failing to swing higher. There's sell stop liquidity below and there was imbalance to fill. But I was cautious because price was in an overall uptrend. All right. And then for Nikki, I caught 60 points and then I moved my stop loss to break even, which it came back and hit, but it was struggling to fail to swing lower and rejecting off a 4-hour order block with imbalance above to fill. All right. And then I had this price was at an all-time high, but kept showing bullish momentum. Price is failing to swing lower here, right? We had buy stops and look at that. Price tapped into this area twice, went up for TP 1 through 5 for 90 points. Notice I'm just showing you guys, these are all the same confluences, right? Price is failing to swing higher, sell stops below, rejection off a breaker, right? Once again, sell stops below, gap to fill, right? Price is failing to swing higher, rejection off the 15-minute order block, 45 points. Again, price is an overall uptrend, rejecting off the daily order block, right? So like all of these are showing you failing to swing higher, imbalance below, sell stops to fill, plus 50 points. All these are showing you like the same confluences, right? So this is the week for, this is this week now, right? The end of January, right? I cut my losses short for 40 points for the Nikki sell, came back and caught 240 points when I adjusted to the buy. Price was failing to swing lower, rejection off the 1-hour order block, buy stop liquidity above. Then I had a buy for Nas. It was a small buy. I took partials and then moved my stop loss to break even once it got to TP2. And then I cut my losses short once again on this buy. I did not like how it was reacting here. And I re-entered and got a better entry for the buy. All right. And then yesterday we had 108 points. The higher time frame was showing price had broken the buy structure, which let me know price was potentially still looking to sell. There were 2 sets of sell stop liquidity below and price was failing to swing higher. Caught a beautiful sell. And then last night we caught a quick and easy buy on Nikki for the final trade of January. All right, so I just went over with you guys every single trade that I called in my trading community. Okay, to learn more, definitely click the link below. I also do have a trading course coming out this month at the end of the month, and I will also pin the wait list in the description below. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that monthly overview. And if you have any questions or if you liked this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment.